First of all, I would like to congratulate CoinSwitch Kuber for organizing this meetup here. It means a lot to us. Also is a very strong endorsement for the fact that Hyderabad also is a very serious player in this area of emerging technology. There is an ecosystem here. The ecosystem can be cultivated, nurtured. Much bigger things potentially can happen from here. So just the fact that CoinSwitch is hosting this event here gives us lots of confidence, boosts our enthusiasm to do more in this area. I'm sure since I have literally come at the last minute, but I'm very sure that my colleague Srinivasrao Garu, when he spoke, or when Santosh spoke, or when someone else spoke, they might have told you already about our interest, what do we do. And I have attended a few meetup events in the past as well, in which I have explained what we have been doing. First of all, what is the genesis of our interest? Why is it that the government is showing so much of interest in this area? But maybe very briefly, because I know that, there has been big delay in the commencement of this meetup today, so I don't want to give any lengthy speech, but very briefly I would like to share this with you, that when Telangana as a new state was created 8 years ago, we were very determined that we will embrace all the new areas of technologies, all the emerging technologies. We will structure good programs out of it. We'll of course do that with the intention that it will benefit the government processes. It will also benefit the citizens in multiple ways. And for the last 8 years, we have been extremely successful in this objective. If you name that area of technology, and you will find, if you compare all the 28 states of our country, Telangana literally at the top in, let us say, AI adoption, blockchain adoption of robotics, drones, data analytics. You name them, cybersecurity. We are really up there, and we do it in a very methodical way. We have created a separate wing in the government. Some of my colleagues of that wing are sitting here. That wing is called the Emerging Technologies Wing. We have taken extremely talented people to work in that wing. Madam is not here today. She is not here. So the person who leads that wing, unfortunately, is not here, but I'm sure you would be knowing of her. So that wing actually prepares policies, frameworks, compares what is happening in the world that can be emulated in Telangana, guides us, shows the direction. And then whatever we do, I spoke about half a dozen technologies in which we are dabbling. Whatever we do, we try to do it in a very participatory, very inclusive way. So the academia will be included in our efforts. The private industry will be included in our efforts. There are some very brilliant Government of India institutions in Hyderabad. We are very fortunate in that sense. They will be included in our efforts. It's a very participatory kind of thing. Startups will be very much a part of that mix. And typically we will bring the best talent from the outside world to spearhead the initiative. So there'll be a governing council or an advisory council, which will all be led by domain experts. And that is how we have been working on. So as some of you would be aware, this is 2022. I think in 2018, we started taking deep interest in blockchain. We were very fortunate in 2018 to host an international blockchain conference here. And when we understood the trends which are shaping the blockchain world, we decided that we will also become one of the early movers. So we created a kind of an organizational structure which is called the Blockchain District. We identified partners as I spoke. We started some programs, some incubation programs, acceleration programs, use case in the government. Many of the use cases that we adopted have become national role models. We have won awards for it. In fact, I share this with lots of pride that the latest that we have done is perhaps very unique for the world itself. I don't know of more than a couple of countries where this kind of thing is practiced, which we were able to demonstrate successfully in Telangana, which is about remote voting. As you know, voting is a big issue in our country, and all kinds of things happened for voting. And we were able to very successfully demonstrate how sitting at home at a scale, this was not a demonstration with 10 voters or 20 voters. It happened in a municipal town called Khammam with 3,500 voters. We were able to demonstrate how voting can be done. As you know, voting is a very contentious, elections is a very contentious process in our country. All kind of challenges are thrown at every point in time. But we were able to show with extreme levels of authenticity, dispelling all doubts and the typical mudslinging which happens in conventional elections, that everything can be handled using technology. And of course, blockchain played a very important role. So this is a little bit about the genesis of the work that we do in the government here. And of course, the specific interest in Web 3.0 came up just roughly about a few months ago. Actually, we were in Davos, our Minister for IT, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, myself, some of our colleagues, where we met lots of technology leaders and lots of VC champions, and many of them told that India is missing out on this Web 3.0 opportunity. We met some founders of, Indian origin founders of Web 3.0 companies which are doing enormously well. But we learned that they are either in Singapore or in Dubai. They have kind of moved away from India. And then we try to understand what is it that is pushing them out of India. And we found that most importantly, the regulatory uncertainty, like as many of you would know, I don't have to tell you about the confusion the state of particularly related to crypto is causing. But at the same time, that confusion is impacting multiple other layers of Web 3.0, which we do not want to miss out on. So we have decided to embrace Web 3.0. In fact, when did we sign with IBF? About a couple of months ago. Then with Santosh, with Web3 community. So lots of partnerships have been signed in the last couple of months. I'm delighted that CoinSwitch is kind of showing interest. If so much of attention is being focused towards Telangana, obviously at least the path that we are taking is the right one. So one other big player is joining hands on Saturday. But a bigger announcement is happening on 2nd of December. Some of you maybe already have been invited there. Some of you may be planning to go there. A very big event is happening in Bangalore called It India. And we are using that opportunity to announce the commencement of a regulatory sandbox on Web 3.0 here in Hyderabad. For the past 2-3 months, we have been working on it. We have prepared a concept note. We shared it with lots of users. You might have got the concept note. Many of the others would have got it. Lots of people have given their feedback, their suggestions. We have made some revisions in the draft. We are close to finalizing the final version, which will be announced on 2nd December. But more than that, the consultation process helped us in identifying lots of use cases. So almost a dozen use cases have been identified. The first cohort under our regulatory sandbox, we want to introduce in mid-January for about 6 months. Every year, we want to run 2 cohorts in which we'll give you that kind of regulatory comfort. Government will also bring other regulators in the picture. That is one task which is still a work in progress. As you know, SEBI, RBI, the insurance regulatory, the insurance regulator, IRDA. Similarly, as you know, there is a National Digital Health Mission. So they are also important regulators in certain areas, telecom regulator. So lots of other regulators who are also involved in different use cases. We are trying to bring them on board, support them. I was told that someone from NPCI is also participating today. So that itself is a very plus for us, because NPCI has been using Hyderabad as an important base for all their innovation, etc. So that augurs quite well for us. So this way, we do hope that a one of its kind, the first of its kind initiative to create this regulatory sandbox will yield good results, not just for Telangana, but for the country as a whole. And this brain drain that we are seeing, we should be able to arrest. Similarly, the partnerships which T-Hub has forged over the last few months, etc., that also should give a big boost to all the local community members, founders. In fact, the last community meet that I had attended, it had lots of aspiring entrepreneurs who are kind of who have an inclination, but they were kind of testing the waters. So I'm sure many of them would have made up their minds to understand that Web 3.0 covers a range of activities, technologies, many of which are not controversial at all, and you can proceed. And internationally also, many of them have gained huge amounts of traction. So I welcome, as I said, the interest of CoinSwitch Kuber in setting up, in putting together this meetup block by block. Since Ashish is here, I would also request you that try to give some work or bring some work of yours to Hyderabad as well, while you have come in person, which is great for us. But if you can set up a small office here which looks at some of these Web 3.0 in T-Hub, of course, that will be the icing on the cake if you can put it here in T-Hub. But wherever you want to, we'll be very happy to have your footprint in Hyderabad. So good wishes to all of you. Thank you.